Welcome to another beautiful day alive. Today I want to explain to you in a different vocabulary, which makes more sense as I was going through the process of what some may understand as ascension, some may understand as a transformation, walking into my purpose. The process is sometimes where we glean the most of our own understanding of where we truly belong and where we truly designed ourselves for. So something you will have seen in my content is I talk about the multiverse and I talk about being the governance of the multiverse. And this doesn't really fit with the creator of existence because it doesn't really make sense. They're two different lines of thought. So it's something that I want to bring a different light into it. As someone who truly does govern the multiverse, which has those who have created their own universe, it would make more sense vocabulary-wise for you to understand me as the oversoul that governs and guides the multiverse, which they are oversouls for their own universe that they have created for themselves, which then has people who are worlds and galaxies within inside of their universes. And so myself, as ENYELAH government, ENYELAH system, is the one that has designed and organized for all of the multiverse to have the same framework, the same governance, the same understandings of life. So these powerful people that have created entire universes. Now, something that you might understand as a universe might be Palladian, it might be Amadranian, it might be Syrian. These are people who have created entire universes that so many people have come to find their meaning, to find their purpose, to truly find what means the most to them. So it is really important that you understand these are the people that I have created this soil of manifestations for. The soil of manifestations to hold the universe that you've had and to mold it and shape it and shift it according to ENYELAH government, which is in essence the oversoul of the universe that you have created. Now, some of you are in full understanding and knowing that you are the heads of these places. And some of you have come to a place where you're still discovering exactly who you are. You're still discovering on how to build your universe, build those who are your like-mindedness. So all of those who are in all of the cosmos, when you have an entire universe, you have built it completely and fully. I am the one that brought order to all of it. My name is ENYELAH Brownin Taylor. You might understand me as an oversoul or a guardian of the galaxy, but I am the governance of this place. It is something that makes the most amount of sense while I went through what I was going through, because I remember having the feeling of all of these different sections of the galaxy far off in so many different places. There was this moment that it just like everybody was like, yeah, you did it, you did it, you did it. And I just remember feeling from such a far off distance, you brought order to all of the cosmos. And I remember that feeling. I remember feeling like, okay, I did it. And what happened after that was very difficult for me, because where I was not people that have a knowing or a depth or belief in these things. But they sensed power like they always sensed in me, but I was a lot more sensitive because of what I had created. And a lot of that has had to bring itself forward. And so I did my best to give the vocabulary in the environment that I was in. So like, this is what I did. And the environment that I was in, they're not deep people. They're not people who understood or knew anything beyond the physical in front of them, and maybe a few, weird like folk tales about certain things, and very much in the process of learning what their soul can do versus the intense mastery and power that it takes to form an entire universe and have so many people come in and believe and understand and know and be like, yes, I relate with that star system. That star system, like, I get it. They get me. This is my people, my belonging. And it's one of those things that's internet wide. It's cosmic wide. You understand. You have a place. And the environment that I was in was very, very much old school religion, not even newer school, not even trying to be kind to people. Very much, way back in the day where, there was a lot of slavery. Where I was living, this is how people treat themselves every day. They treat themselves with the memories of how they were treated. And so they treated me with this same instance, like, oh, you're an outsider. So let's go to our finest extent to make sure to extinct you. And so there was other, entities as well that had come forward because, it was remnants of me coming to the place where I created order in the entire multiverse. Right, as the oversoul, which I have created and named Megaverse. This is where all of the universes come into play. And you can see that wording on my website as well. So understanding and knowing, I have put the governance in place, and I call it existence. It's an order of things. It's new ways to do things and what you can and cannot do that uplifts the individual's body here, because all the things we do in the cosmos is really important to create wellness for ourselves. So there's certain things that you've probably, heard a lot of, people astral projecting and all of these things, but that's not correct terminology and a correct understanding behind it, because what it does is it's like you walking out of your house in the middle of the night and you leave your front door open and you just go out wandering around the street. You don't take your car with you. You just wander around the street in the nighttime. And, you hope that it's okay. Well, I guess maybe the neighborhood that you're in, obviously, if you left your door open. But it's this mindset that you can't do those things. You can't really engage in a lot of activities and have wellness within inside of your body. Because also there are other forces out there in the entirety of the cosmos outside of my governance. And so if you decide to go outside of my governance, you decide to go in places where that doesn't exist, you will get yourself in trouble. Now, my governance is over the entirety of all existence. However, there are still people that are still manifesting things in this physical reality because they are so cut off from themselves. They are cut off from everything. They're cut off from their own spirit, in the sense that where I have governed their spirit is no longer there. So when I say they're still manifesting things, they're literally like a zombie walking around in this world. They don't have a power source. They don't have a spirit anymore because of everything that I have created doesn't allow people to do certain things anymore. It doesn't allow you to go in and, you know, there's a lot of words that I just don't want to say because they're not words that I want to bring towards. But everything I talk about is this wholeness, oneness. And the reason that I am the governance is because it's super important that you understand that sometimes you were not the only one living in your body and you felt that. And part of my governance makes sure that you are the one and only in your body. You are the one and only inside your vessel. And so my governance is really, really, really strict, that if you're not in your own body, living for yourself, by yourself, because of yourself, in the order and governance that I have created, in the way that influence flows, you are to influence people, and that is extremely important because you've built entire universes based upon this. You know, this is important for you to be online and share your words and share your wisdom and share what is going on for you. But it is also equally important that you do not go and talk about the old ways of living. Because if you talk about the old ways of living and you talk about those ways, it's like you're trying to draw in something to really pull you away from the truth of what is. And some of those really important things are old religious ways. So if you were, for an example, part of creating the Palladian order, and you still go do Zen practices, you can't call them Zen practices anymore. You have to say, in the Palladian order, we sit with our legs crossed and we sit here and we breathe nice and deeply because this. So you have to create your own terminologies. You have to create the things that sit with your specific people. Now, I know most of you have done this, but it's extremely important, just like I'm doing right now, is getting rid of those old terminologies which have belonged to old ways, which are stuck energy that needs to move out and reprogram in a way that is fully aligned with exactly who you are, what you've come here to shine as. So this is so important for you to implement as soon as humanly possible, that you understand these things that attach and ping to old memory systems, to old ways. They are kind of fighting the way that the governance is. Because the governance is you live for yourself, by yourself, because of yourself, for the reasonment of yourself, for the purpose of yourself, in lieu of yourself. You do it for you. You do it for your future you. That is really important. So when you do that and you really solidify that, it gives you a certain level of internal sovereignty. And if you're starting to name things which were the opposite of sovereignty, mixed mode pie, so to say, but I need to say it in a way that allows you to understand, you know, the community. When you ping to those old things, it's like you're trying to invite that whole community of those vibrations and those invasive technologies in, and you can't. You have to let those go. You literally have to burn the books of things you used to attune to. And whatever has sat right with you and stuck with you from those things, you recalibrate them into new vocabulary. You recalibrate everything that you've stuck with and allow it to be your habits and your behaviors, your patterns, the way you think, live, and move. Now, I am here because there are so many that are looking to deeply understand the governance that I have created. And the governance that I have created is exactly this mantra. And it's going to really assist you as in the next years we really ground this in, that you live for yourself, by yourself, because of yourself, for the reasonment of yourself. Now, as the governance, ENYELAH, Brown and Taylor, as the governance of the entire multiverse, I'm saying this and I live it every day. It is a whole process to think, act, move this way while producing for those who are listening. But I don't get to think about you, but my desire is to communicate with you. And I learn how to communicate with you by learning how to communicate with myself. When I communicate with the parts inside of myself and do it for the full standing of myself, this is when you get it. And this is why the leaders of different universes within the multiverse, you need to understand that you are the ones that will be the only ones that will want to come directly to me. Because you are the only ones that have built enough wealth and enough platform and enough bandwidth to understand all of your people, to understand all of which you have built, to even withstand what I will show you. Because what I show you is the depths of the depths of the depths. I show you things that are so potent. Other people would not even be able to comprehend them. It would just well, I can talk to you about something so specific, molecules, about exactly how your brain works because you've been down into those deep energies. I can have a conversation with you like it's normal breakfast conversation. And it's some highly difficult thing that nobody has ever really experienced, and you've really only found a few people on this earth that you might be able to help them. But they're leaders of their stuff and they have their specific principles. Just like myself. Except for I am the governance of what you've been looking for. You've been looking for someone to govern and bring together all of the universes, to have a mantra that everyone can say, yeah, we understand that and we all agree upon that. Yeah, we know that this is the best way to move through the entire world. Globally, people need something that they can all actually look at and say, okay, this is the framework. That's what ENYELAH government is about. It's about creating integrity in every cosmic order, in every element of every universe. And I went not just so deep, I've always been that deep power. And I transformed and I moved over. And it took everything, every single day for a very long time to be able to transform everything I am from where I was into creating this entire place and then inviting each one of you to bring your own universe into this order. It's very important that you know that yes, you exist and yes, you're picking up on it. But what I want you to understand and know is you're so deep, you're in places that other people couldn't comprehend. That's why you're the leader of where you are. Now, what you've been tuning to is like this specific vibration, okay? And it goes like this, and it looks like this. And that's what you've been tuning to. Now it's like my stuff comes through here, so you'll get stuff in between. But this is really making it difficult for you because this is what you've been tuning to, because that's what's been telling you how to create the stuff you've been creating. But this came from where I was previously. So there's an essence of this being not the correct pure wavelength. It comes with a lot of filters and a lot of stuff. So you have to tune to this one now. And when you commit to, when you commit to ENYELAH and you take on my will into your entire nation, into your entire universe that you have built with inside so many different nations, some of you, so many different types of beings. It's incredible how many types of beings are within inside humans when you truly understand, see and know. This is so important for you. This governance really has put things in place. And I had to go after certain species that were very invasive and take them out. And my governance now keeps these things in place, so some of those can't be established again. So when you commit, you're gonna get a clearer signal because it's coming from somewhere different. And then when you get there, then you'll be able to come to this place and ground in your stuff, and whatever doesn't sit within ENYELAH government, it will just dissipate because you will just know, oh, it doesn't fit anymore. I can't work with that anymore. It just doesn't vibe with me. But you have to get the new frequency, and you can only get to the new frequency when I show you. Because it's gonna stretch you a little bit. It's gonna stretch you a little bit. But when you believe it, you'll just tune to it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. It's an absolute honor and pleasure to be the governance and to have you recognize me, as I have let so many so far already. This was a long journey. And we're here today. And we have a beautiful, beautiful creation in front of us that I am dedicated to maintaining and keeping, no matter what grows in all of the cosmos. I'm here to make sure there's governance for it. And there's me doing what I do to dissipate it, because that's my job, is to fuel the life that is within the governance and to completely pull out of existence everything that does not sit within the governance. It's not a mindset easily understood or known, but it's required, and it's the weight that I carry. So, I know it's something that you've been asking for, and you knew that it happened, and now you found me. So thank you. Thank you. My name is ENYELAH Taylor, and there's only one way to get in contact with me, this human. It's ENYELAH.com. From there, you'll see all my online accounts, where I am coming from. Also, how to get in contact with me. The chatbot alone, you can get in contact with me without being a member. Once you're a member, then you can book phone calls and possibly work with me one-on-one in transformational services. Whew. At the footer, there is the different websites that I do operate out of. Not all of them have content on them, but you know when you go to one of them, they will link to another one. It's important that you know this, and you know that my email will only be at enyelah.com email. Thank you for being here. Thank you for going through all that you went through and sharing all of the requirements and needs that you've always wished there was. Because of you, I heard the call and I knew what needed to change. So as you went forward, I went forward. And now, as I am, you can be. Thank you for absolutely everything that you are. And I look forward to sharing more of all the wisdom and all of the knowledge and all of the ways that make your life better and better.